Hello and welcome to another episode of Eat Smoke Drink. I'm Eat Smoke Drink. You might have seen me from such films as Whiskey Cures COVID and the best source of vitamin C are cigars. Today I'm going to review 3 Taliskers, 18, 25 and 30. So it's always interesting to be reviewing whiskies in a lineup like this, because it's not every day that you can actually get a whiskey that that lines up in the distillery releases in this order. So I thought I'd give it a crack to kind of give you the insight on the differences. What's cool about this particular lineup is that they're all 45.8. So Talisker decided that their bottlings are going to be 45.8, which I must say, one, it's admirable because most places are releasing 43%, which is shit. But 45.8, it's an unusual number, so I don't know what it means. But anyway, if anyone knows why 45.8, I'd be interested to know. Talisker is in the Isle of Skye. It is known to be a heavy, smoky, peaty dram, also because they still use worm tubs. I love Talisker. I think it's one of the great distilleries and great distillery bottlings out there. They don't generally disappoint, but look, I'm not here to really tell you if these are good or not. I think most of you will be aware what Talisker's like. It's more kind of the difference between the three. So we have the 18, 25 and the 30-year-old. So let's get those in. Starting with the 18. So the nose is distinctly different already. We've got to keep in mind they're all 45.8, so the ABV is the same, but the nose is distinctly different. The 18 is a strong hit of sweetness, but much firier on the nose straight away, and the ABV is the same. And the 25 is sweet, but smoky, almost like a soot, like a far away flame. And the 30, it's more like an old rubber smell, soot, burnt glass. And we've talked about burnt glass before. If you don't know what burnt glass smells like, next time you have an empty whiskey bottle or a wine bottle or a beer bottle, chuck a few in a bonfire and just let it melt and burn, and you'll get that burnt glass. What? It's true. That's how you find out. Sorry, it's just, So just put glass in the fire, because that's the only way you know what I'm talking about. And so you've got that sootiness, that candle smoke on the 30, but the 18, wow, the difference. The 18 is like a young fire, it's just starting, heavy smoke, some peat, not so sooty. It's super sweet, but also super spicy, strong hint of ginger. And then you immediately follow it with a 25, and it mellows completely. It mellows so dramatically. And you get almost like you get someone in shorts and a singlet, and then suddenly you've got someone in a khaki pants and a collared shirt. In the 30, you've got like a nectar, a syrupy nectar, intense concentrations of flavor, but mellow and soft. The fire is gone. It's just smoldering embers and soot and charcoal and just the leftover ash of the wood. You've got someone here wearing a suit. So you've got something that's, relatively unrestrained, the 18, and it evolves into this ultra restrained but ultra expressive 30-year-old Talisker. It's amazing when you nose it in this way, and if you can have the opportunity to do that, you really should. You really must. You must, like South African must. So let's try them in succession. The peat's heavy, new rubber, fresh rubber. I can taste a little bit of soot, but it's a heavy dram. It's oily, it's savory, it's salty, it's chewy. It's got a hint of sweetness, but not too much. Spice, I'm getting cinnamon, clove, aniseed, licorice, a hint of peppermint. and a herbal note. Herbal note. I can't put tarragon. I think it's tarragon. Delicious dram. The 18, look, the 18 is an exceptional bottling. You can't complain with the 18. That's a first world problem right there. Let's go to the 25. Oh, wait. Let me just have a sip of water. Just to refresh the palate. Yeah. Same ABV, different ages. This is like a lot more syrupy, a lot more viscous. The fire is gone from the 25. There's no fire there. A little bit of burnt rubber, a little bit of fresh rubber, but not that much. It's sooty, like a candle smoke, and a waft of smoke from afar, or maybe the smell of wood that's burnt down, and then it's no longer on fire. It's got a little bit of that. It's got a little bit more minerality to it, more sweetness to it. But the finish is both super long. You can't really fault the finish. The 25 is an exceptional dram. It's got a slight bitterness to it, right in the back end. A very, very slight bitterness. A pleasant bitterness, like eating a bitter melon. It's fatty, it's oily. Absolutely delicious, but it's got no more fire. It's got no more fire, it doesn't have much heat at all. Now let's try the 30-year-old. Let me just have a sip of water. Now let's try the 30. The nose in the 30 is just phenomenal. The 30 has a slight funkiness to it, slight fungal note to it, savouriness, umami, almost like a kelp, kelp in a soup, kelp and miso. Kelp and miso, shall I say, not in miso, kelp and miso. A little bit of that savouriness there. Salty, definitely salty. A strange sweetness, like a sweet and sour. A sweet and sour in this one here. The overall notes of the flavours are very similar, but just different, delivered differently. That is. And definitely, if the fire was gone on a 25, the 30, the fire is gone. The fire on the 30 is evolved into like a warm blanket wrapping up your tongue. Absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. So, which bottle would I recommend? Well, all of them really. I can't recommend one over the other. But here's the catch. Here's a disclaimer. The 25 is roughly double the price of the 18, and the 30 is almost double the price of the 25. So when you're looking at value for money from a pure value perspective, I mean, the 18 is just phenomenal value. Phenomenal value. Is the 25 double the goodness of the 18? Of course not. When you're talking whiskey, you're never going to get that kind of linear value that you get for the price. It's never going to be like that. But I think that the Goldilocks zone here is the 25. The 25 is robust. It's got a punch, enough of a punch. It's not boring, it's interesting, it's delicious. The 30 is a little bit too easy. The 30 is a little bit too, and I hate the word, but it's a little bit too smooth compared to the 25 and the 18. But if budget and value is not an object, then the 30 and 25, both to me, are actually equal in goodness, just very different. So hence I will go for the 25 because I'm Chinese and I'm very value orientated. But the 30 is an experience in itself. A 3-decade-long maturation, you can't really argue with that. Overall, Talisker is a great distillery, and thank you for joining me today for this side-by-side of the vertical, shall I say, a Talisker vertical, 18, 25 and 30. And until next time, please make sure you eat, smoke, drink Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell. And hey, have you ever done this? Have you ever put them side by side and had a bit of a vertical? If you have, let me know your thoughts, because it's hard to recall. Like, let's say you have one day in 18 and you have one day at 25. It's hard to recall the differences in them because, you know, they're one day apart. But when you have it in one setting like this, it really gives you that perspective of the difference in the ages, and it shows you what maturation does. Until next time, thank you. Make sure you eat, smoke, drink.